Hi everyone, it's another exciting week for me. If you've been watching the Indonesia set of videos, we got as far as leg 6 and we still have legs 7 and 8 to go, but I had to take some time off, so we're back again, back in Indonesia. We just flew in from Darwin to Jakarta, where we are now, Jakarta Airport. And we're going to take this Lion Air A330-900 over from here to Palembang. It's got some cargo on board we've got to unload there. It's a little short hop. Darwin to here is a couple of hours. From here to Palembang's about 25-30 minutes. We're just going to unload this cargo. There's hardly any passengers left. There's about 10 left on board, I think. And once we get there, I'm going to get my little light aircraft. And then I'm going to go and fly around the northern half of Sumatra, which is the only bit we've got left to do of these islands. So we've done the complete southern set of islands, all the way from the east over to halfway up Sumatra. And we're going to finish it off now. And we're going to end in style with the biggest volcano you've ever seen. I just can't wait. There's not a lot left of it now. I'll explain that in a second. But I'm really looking forward to this. It's one of the biggest volcanic explosions we know of. And, well, in let's say, near history. Almost wiped out mankind. The scientists believe that it wipes humankind out to within 1 or 2% of what the population was, which is why we've got such a small genetic diversity, which should be much more diverse than what we are. So when we say man came out of Africa, that's because all the rest of them got killed off by this volcano. So we'll have a look at that on the map and stuff in a second, but just to let you know, we're going to be flying there in this Lion Air, like I say, A330-900. I don't know what's going on with the Jetway. It just appears to have not quite connected to the aircraft. So when the passengers got off, I hope they didn't have to jump that gap. That's quite disturbing. Oh yeah, I guess the Jakarta Airport. Yeah, that's a big airport. Very, very big. We're in this large aircraft section, and over there is the double terminal that's on either side of the way, so the control tower. And yeah, it's a massive place, loads of aircraft, loads of people. Yeah. So I'm just going to do a quick bit of startup and get the systems on so we can get the nav up and running. It takes about 3 or 4 minutes. And check to make sure that the fuel's not been messed with again. So as you can see, I've already set the weights up. Fuel's in. All the weights have been filled in for the people we've got on. But of course, Microsoft Flight Sim sometimes just doesn't want to do what you want it to. So we'll get everything up and running and then check everything.
Ground Lion enter 753, request taxi to the gate. Lion enter 753 taxi to gate 54 using taxiway Mike 7 November Papa Tree November 4 Mike cross runway 25 right November 4 November Charlie 4.
So that's going to take a while to load up. Let's just check the fuel. Yep, it was there and now it's magically disappeared. You saw that? It said 1400. Now it's down to 1280, so what? So let's get the fuel on. $44,666. That's close enough, I think. 37.5 plus 7 and a bit. It's 44.5 ish. So that should be about right. That'll do for us, I think. And that's gonna... we'll do it instantly because I can't be bothered waiting for that. That'll just take forever. Unfortunately, that's going to mess up the balance sheet because... oh no, we should be okay. 29.30 and not 36.11. And that's interesting. As you can see there, it's telling me we've only got 29.30 in. Yeah, 29.30 in 1940. That's an interesting, not quite rightness. Oh well. So, these are the ones we've already done, from the east all the way through the island. And there's Darwin. We've flown from Darwin to Jakarta, where we are now. And we're just going to fly from Jakarta to Palembang. Ignore the blue line. That blue line is... well, yeah, I think that's leg 5. And then this was leg 6, the purple line. But we're now going to fly the other two, which is the green one, that's leg 7, and then the yellow one, which is leg 8. Also ignore that bit of the green line there as well. That's a mistake. So, we're going to go from... no, it's not Palembang, is it? Jesus, that's Pekanbaru. We're going to fly from Pekanbaru all the way up this and continue up. We were flying up the Rift Valley that ran along this western side of the island, and we got as far as around that area, Padang, and we went from Padang around there and then flew off to Singapore. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fly continuing up the Rift Valley, which splits into two. There's a little bit there and then the main one continues. We're going to land in Aik Godang. Not in this big thing, in the little aircraft. Then we're going to go and land at Alas Lauser at Kutakain. And then from Kutakain we're going to go continuing up this side of the mountain range, all the way up to the tip of the island and land at Aceh. Sultan Iskandar Muda International. And yeah, there's quite a few things to see on the way. Once we get to Banda Aceh, we're going to have a little bit of a break there and then fly back down the eastern side, sort of to the centre, following the last bit of the Rift Valley back this way. Otherwise there's no point in going straight up, because then we'd just have to come back and flick across. So we've got this side, then come back down this side, and then we're going to go over to Aceh and fly into this area. Have a look at this lake, these mountains. And then continuing down through what's left of this other bit of valley, all the way up and then back down again. There's some interesting mountains to see and volcanoes, obviously. And then we come back past, oh, we're going to fly over this mountain range, past Mount Bandahara. Then we're going to land at Alas Lauser at Kutakain before we take off on our final bit of the journey. And that wonderful sight there. Yes, that used to be a volcano. This is what's left of it. That's the caldera, and that's a lake inside the caldera. And then that's what's grown up since then. It's not a classical pointy mountain. It's a very low-lying one, so This is a bulge in the crust below, and below it is the hot magma chamber, and it rises slowly, then collapses once it explodes. So yeah, this is not very small. I mean, I don't know how big that is. Yeah, 54 miles. That's quite big. So we're going to take our time around there and take in the whole of the site, and that and Lake Toba. And as you just saw there, that's Mount Toba. The bulge is now cold. This map is not decluttered, hang on. So once we've had a look at that, then we'll fly into Kuala Namu, where we will finish this long journey around the southern islands of Indonesia. It's been quite a journey. I've loved it. That's so many volcanoes. It's like just like 3 or 4 volcanoes in view for most of the trip. It's just been brilliant. Once that's finished, I'm going to move on to my next bit of fun, which is Africa. We're going to start in Djibouti and then fly down this massive rift valley. That's another massive volcanic dome, which has been split in two. Another one here. I think that's the something plateau. Oh yeah, I've turned it off, so now it won't tell me what the name is. Okay. And we're taking the sights of Kenya and all these wonderful lakes and stuff. And then down into Tanzania, Lake Malawi, and then back up Calamine. So this is the Eastern Rift system. But I'll get into more detail about that once we start down that one. I mean, you can already see that thing there. Guess what that is? It's a volcano! Mount Kilimanjaro! Just do that bit again. So we're here in Jakarta. We're going to fly from Jakarta, not to Palembang, to Pekanbaru. And then from Pekanbaru, we're going to fly up. It's going to be great. I can't wait. That's just 50-mile wide crater. Oh, I cannot wait. It's going to be epic. With a bit of luck, we might be able to get a helicopter from Kutakain and then fly around it in a helicopter. They're a bit noisy, but at least it means we can hover and get a better view. So the weight sheet's done. We've got the fuel back on after we were so badly cheated out of it. What the hell is that? That sounds very bad. Sounds like they've all got the brakes stuck on or something. Well, I guess that must just be reverse thrust that sounded like it's exploding. Anyway, yep, GPS is on. So we'll carry on, do our quick flight, and then that'll be that done. Oh, the flight plan, yeah. So that's the flight plan we're going to follow. It's fairly straightforward. Quick departure, straight to up to the northwest, head north on our approach, and then in on the ILS onto the runway. So fuel set, that's good, and number one is going around and doing the external check. We're just going to pump the brakes up, they're a bit low, they're not on the green there. That's broken. Okay, well, yeah, not so good. Interesting. So that's good. The flight discontinuity is because when we get to the end of the approach, we have to and go manually, and the flight plan discontinuity is a natural thing there to make sure we understand that's what we've got to do. You can just clear that by using the clear button and then clicking on it, and it'll go away. Well, most of the time it will. Sometimes it won't, obviously. Okay, so Jetway's gone, everyone's on board, everything's set, check the doors. Doors are shut. We have pressure. Blade is set. APU is fine.
Ground Lion 007 Heavy with mic ready to taxi IFR.
Lion 007 Heavy taxi to and hold short of runway 25 left using taxiway November Charlie, Tree November Papa 1 Echo Charlie 1 Sierra 1. Contact tower on 118.2 when ready.
Taxi to and hold short runway 25 left via taxiway November Charlie, Tree November Papa 1 Echo Charlie 1 Sierra 1 Lion 007 Heavy.
So NC3, MP1, EC1, S1. So we're on Open G or Open J. I think we're on G. Yeah, because that's the building around. So NC3. So NC3, NP1, EC1, Okay, NC3, MP1, EC1, all the way around to S1. Yep. So we're going that way around. Out there, over there, around there, down to here. Taking off on 25 left. Excellent. So as soon as we leave the runway, we're going to be turning right. Okay, that's cool. So 2,000 feet, 5,000 feet. And we're going up to 10, so we're cleared across all of those, which is great. Good old good old Krakatoa there. That's a big Krakatoa, little Krakatoa, and then the other two islands. So number 2's back, that's stowed. We have flaps are out, sorry, spoils are out. So I installed the what was it, FSLTL traffic, but I tried it out and it was a bit problematic, so I've turned it off again and I've reverted back to these standard Microsoft Flight Sim ones, but it seems like it's still using their liveries and the amount of traffic, so it's really good in the sense that it makes life a lot easier even if you don't use the injector. It makes things much more realistic with far more traffic. It's absolutely brilliant. I will put a video up about that. One of the main problems was traffic would just not take off. There'd be 4 or 5 aircraft and they'd all go out to sit on the end of the runway and wait for takeoff. Then the second one would just move into the same position and go inside the first one. And I think it was at Heathrow, and we had 5 aircraft all inside a big aircraft. You could see like 5 different sets of wings and a couple of tails. That was a bit bizarre. They just sat there and no one took off in the 15 minutes I ran it, and then they just all disappeared one after the other. Landings were better though, because with the Microsoft Flight Sim ones, they'll land and then just disappear once they slow down to taxiing speed. Well, quite often they do anyway. With FSLTL, they were landing and going down the runway, exiting, but it seems like they're doing that now as well. So I think that's done some good. Oh wow, that's a big one. I'm not too sure about the smoke effects. I think it's supposed to be reverse thrust, but it just looks like someone's stuck the brakes on too hard. We've got a locked wheel. So we've got quite a way to go, and we'll see when we get to the end of the runway and ready to leave. So we're just approaching the runway. We're just going to stick here at our hold position.
Tower Lion 007 Heavy ready for IFR departure, runway 25 left.
Lion 007 Heavy, line up and wait.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
Line up and wait, Lion 007 Heavy.
Indonesia Trip 26, contact Jakarta Center on 120.9er. Good day. Lion 007 Heavy, QNH 29er.77, wind 239er at 1 tree. Cleared for takeoff runway 25 left.
Cleared for takeoff runway 25 left, Lion 007 Heavy.
Spoilers check, flaps check, brakes check. All lights to take off. Weather radar on.
Lion enter tree 8 tree, turn next taxiway.
Starting the taco.
Lion enter tree 8 tree, exit runway when able. Indonesia 147, number 2, for landing. Follow the aircraft on final. Wind 239er at 1 tree. Caution the Boeing 737, landing runway 25 right. Cleared to land runway 24. Lion enter tree 8 tree, contact ground on 121.6. Lion Lima India 252 heavy, contact Jakarta Center on 120.9er. Good day. Cleared to land runway 24 number 2, Indonesia 147. 121.6 for Lion enter tree 8 tree. Lion Lima India 252 heavy, acknowledge last transmission.
Going to 120.9er, Lion Lima India 252 Heavy. Jakarta Center, Lion Lima India 252 Heavy is passing 4,200 feet, climbing 10,000 feet.
Lion Lima India 252 heavy, Jakarta Center, QNH 29er.77, continue as planned.
So we'll next speak to you once we're on approach. Not to Palembang, to Pekanbaru. I must remember that.
Traffic.
Lion Lima India 252 heavy, traffic is 10 o'clock, 4 miles at 8,800 feet, Boeing 737. Report them in sight. Airbus 88 tree, contact Jakarta, approach on 124.2. Good day. Lion enter 614 traffic is 2 o'clock, 2 miles at 9,200 feet, Airbus A330. Report them in sight.
Jesus, that was a bit It's a bit too close for my liking.
4 heavy, you are 30
Level
miles
off.
northeast.
Level off.
Descend
Fear
and
of
maintain
conflict.
1,700 feet. Expect vectors. Visual runway 24 approach. Lion enter 614, have the traffic. Descend and maintain 2,000 feet. Expect vectors. Visual runway 24 approach. Singapore 9.
So you may notice we've had a law change. So we're no longer in climb, we're in speed.
Going to 124.2 Airbus 883.
Okay, so now the excitement's over, we'll see when we start our approach. So there's a little bit of rain down there. It's a very lovely evening. We should get in just before the sun goes down. It's going to be beautiful. So we're just starting our descent. We're currently coming down to 8,000 feet. We're about 40 miles away from our finals. So I'm going to pull the speed back now and we're going to go down to 240. And we've magically, the performance page has started working again, so I'm just filling in the information. And it automatically set the frequency for the runway, so that's all done. We don't need to do that ourselves, which is good. Okay, so you can clearly see there we need to be at 4,000 feet by the time we hit the next waypoint, and they're not clearing us down to 4,000 feet, so we're just going to go down to 4,000 feet and we don't really care what they say to us.
Lion Lima India 252 heavy, acknowledge last transmission.
Climb and maintain 8,000 feet. Lion Lima India 252 heavy.
Lion Lima India 252 heavy, contact Pekanbaru approach on 120.75. Good day.
120.75 Lion Lima India 252 heavy. Pekanbaru approach, Lion Lima India 252 Heavy is at 4,800 feet, climbing 8,000 feet.
Now we're descending to 4,000.
252 Heavy, Pekanbaru approach QNH 29er.80. Continue to Goder as planned.
So if we're going to continue as planned, then we need to be at 4,000 feet, not 8,000. It's all very silly. So speed down to 200. Flaps to 1. Speed to manage mode.
Lion Lima India 252 Heavy, you are 18 miles southeast. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect ILS runway to 9er approach via F-PLN transition. Cleared to F-PLN.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect ILS runway 29er approach via F-PLN transition. Cleared to F-PLN.
So
Lion Lima
that's
India
cleared to
252
F-PLN.
Heavy.
Then we're turning on final.
Lion Lima India 252 Heavy, descend and maintain 3,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 3,000 feet. Lion Lima India 252 Heavy.
Lion Lima India 252 Heavy, descend and maintain 2,500 feet.
Descend and maintain 2,500 feet. Lion Lima India 252 Heavy.
I'm not really sure what's going on there. It's in managed mode, so it should have managed us to be at the right speed for the flaps, but for some reason it didn't, so all a bit strange. Anyway, we're turning in now. Flaps 2. Landing lights on.
Lion Lima India 252 Heavy, you are 14 miles east of Mahmud. Contact Mahmud Tower on 118.1 when inbound on the approach.
Tower on 118.1 Lion Lima India 252 Heavy.
Why was oh. That was a bit strange. Yeah, we've something's gone wrong with the flight plan, I think. That's
2,500.
Spoilers armed.
Don't sink. 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 Don't sink.
We need to sink because we're
Don't
landing,
sink.
you idiot.
Don't
What on
sink.
earth is going on?
Don't sink. 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 Don't sink.
50.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Yeah, something's going to be a little bit wrong with everything. Admittedly, I didn't get in touch with Tower, so we weren't really clear to land, but we were having a bit of an emergency situation, and there's just the one of me. But there's no parking options, so I don't know what's going on here.
Mahmood ground Lion Lima India 252 Heavy. Could you please connect the jetway to the aircraft?
Lion Lima India 252 Heavy. The jetway is going to be connected.
I don't know why it's going to be connected, because it doesn't appear to be connected to the building. So they're going to get onto the jetway and then just jump off when they get to the other end of it. It's going to be a great thing for them. Lovely learning experience. So thank you for flying Lion Air. So it appears that approach doesn't work. That just, for some reason, seemed to cancel out the flight plan. That's very bizarre. No idea why it did that. Never mind, we're down, we're safe. I'll go and get told off now for not having landing permission. That happens quite a lot anyway. You know, ATC, quite often it's their fault, this time it was mine. And I have a rest day tomorrow and then start my flight around leg 7 and then leg 8. And then that'll be Indonesia South finished with. Thanks for watching.